what's up, North County? I'm your host, Randy Doty, and today we have our Wonk sponsor. We have Matt Gifford with MGP Coatings in studio. Matt, thanks for coming
What's
in,
up,
man.
North County?
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Yeah, of course. Haven't talked to you in a while, and a
Yeah.
lot of things have changed.
Yeah,
So,
it's been a minute.
yeah, we got to catch up and find out what's been going on. But first, tell me about MGP Coatings. Tell me, like, what made you start something like this?
So I'd had a painting business. Well, I pretty much painted my whole life, but I had a painting business in Tulare County, legit since 2019, and we'd always dreamed of living somewhere over here on the coast. And I had the opportunity to move over here and start the coating company, and so we took the jump, took the leap, and yeah, it's been 2 years now. Actually, probably right about a little bit over 2 years.
Has it been that long?
Yeah, it's
Wow.
been 2 years, and it's been amazing. North County and Slow County's it's been good to us, man. It's been
Well,
it's been
MGP
good.
Coatings. So, I mean, we talk. So the painting, you have the painting, you're right, but you also are really spearheading this whole epoxy coatings on garage floors and pool decks and countertops and stuff like that. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so we started off doing just garage floors with a product from Pentec that was polyurea. We got pretty good at that, and then I started looking into different options, and we found another supplier that had more availability of different options that we could be able to offer our customers. So now we offer multiple different kinds of coatings. So even if you have unlevel concrete, we have a urethane cement that self-levels, and we can, level out the concrete. And then I started messing around with epoxy art. I was obsessed with the videos, and I started messing around with epoxy art.
That's what these
And
are?
That's what these are. And I started off making custom coasters to give to my customers. So every one of our customers gets a thank you bag with one of our coasters, and then I started playing with different designs and different colors, and realized that I could make a lot of really cool stuff, and I really enjoy it. Like I never really considered myself artistic until I started playing around with this stuff and making it, and then I started thinking, I wanna learn to do the metallic floors. Like that's a lot like.
Is that what this is? Is metallic?
It's metallic colors mixed in with the
Skateboarding is
with
not
the
a
epoxy.
crime.
Yeah, yeah. That's for Kevin over at 805 Board Shops, for his customer base.
That's pretty cool, though.
Yeah,
So could you put like hot like pans on something like this,
you could.
or
You could.
so you could use it as a pan a pan plate, or
I mean, you don't want to take them like out of the oven and
great.
set them on there. It might
they're all falling.
it might melt them or crack them.
Right.
But yeah, you could definitely do that.
So so let's get back to the deck and stuff like that. So we live in an area that's not really old, but the old time pools and stuff like that. The concrete now has started to
Crack
be
and
weathered
wear
over the
down.
years. So you can come in there when somebody has say a pool deck around, and contractor concrete guy says, "Oh yeah, we're gonna have to rip this out because they're different levels and stuff like that." Are you able to do something with that, or would you have to do new concrete as well?
It depends on how off level it is. We don't level concrete with our grinders. Like if we're doing a pool deck, the urethane cement is more for like rooms, like commercial spaces, bedrooms, garages. We can do them in, but it has to have like a stopping point. In other words, the concrete,
Oh, it just keeps
self-leveling, it'll
going.
just flow off.
Right.
But yeah, we've done. I was trying to figure out how many projects we've done in the last 2 years, and I think it's over 120 projects that we've done since we've been here, which is pretty good. And I've made a lot of connections and a lot of good friends over here, and I love the Central Coast. Love it.
How does people find you, Matt?
They can find us on Facebook, Instagram. MattGiffordPainting.com is our website. We've got a Snapchat. We've got TikTok. 805-952-5301 is my phone number. If I don't answer, just leave a message and I'll call you back within a day. Because I do a lot of running, so I'm constantly running from one side of the county to the other to go
So
meet with
you're
customers.
countywide.
Yep. Yeah,
Over on the coast.
we go from Pismo to anywhere over in the Paso Robles area. Been
Nice.
doing a lot of work up in Heritage Ranch and Met some really cool people and some customers up there. We just finished a really big pool deck over there that was two-tone quartz. The customer was very specific about what they wanted, and we actually brought in, I think his name was Eric Crawley. He's a concrete guy out of Santa Margarita that did some saw cuts for us around the house, and we added a couple down the middle of their walkways so that way we could do the different colors of the quartz, and it came out beautiful. It was so nice. Customers were so happy.
Do you get clients that will say that somebody came in before you that says this has to be all you, there's nothing you can do with it, it's toast, like say a garage floor. So the garage floors, I mean, over the years, the concrete starts to lift up, you start to get those little deep little patches of I don't even know what happens to it, it's just gone,
Right.
maybe from like the
Efflorescence
water heater or
Efflorescence causes a lot of damage in a house. That's the white powdery stuff that comes up. That's the calcium and lime coming
Okay.
back up. And we do deal with a lot of those, and we have a specific primer for it. It's a moisture vapor barrier primer. It takes a little bit more time to do the job. I just looked at one in Atascadero right around the corner from where we live, and the garage is just completely ate up, and they were like, can it be done? And I go, it'll take some work. I go, but yeah, these are like my favorite ones. Like, I love the before and after pictures to be able to show people like, this is what your garage looked like, this is what it can look like we really do make concrete great again. So
Do you think that we live in like our ground is there's a lot of moisture, which
it
helps?
really varies. Like, the places that I think when we go out to do a job, I always test the concrete. So I do a scratch test on it to see how hard the concrete is, so I know what kind of diamonds we have to use to grind it. And then I do a moisture test, and the moisture test tests down to 3/4 of an inch for the content in the concrete, and then that gives me an idea of what the best product for your project is going to be. Every product has different moisture barriers and restrictions on it. So now we have multiple products that, depending on what your moisture content is, I can recommend, hey, this is what I would go with, this is what I would stay away from. And education really is the key, like setting the expectation for customers. Like when it's offset, we can't level it out, but we can round it. Like we take a grinder and we kind of cut it at an angle, and then we kind of grind it down so that way it's not a tripping hazard. You can still see it when the project's done, but it looks 100% better, and it's not a tripping hazard like it was. So
And so, could you do this on a floor like a garage floor?
we can now.
You could make your garage floor look at that thing.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be cool? Just like a wicked. Have you done one yet?
No, Tackett Winery will be our first one.
Okay.
So
So you're starting to kind of go into more of your commercial stuff. So you're doing like the tasting rooms when people walk in.
I really yearn for that. Like, I want to, because I think they're so beautiful. Like when you get done and when somebody walks in, it catches your eye and just kind of impresses you. I'm obsessed with watching the videos. My wife gets mad at me because she's like, what are you watching? And I go, oh, I'm watching somebody do a floor. And she's like, again? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, this is how you learn. You get different ideas from watching different people, making different connections. We went down, when we found Cimarron, we went down to Orange down by Anaheim, and we did a training over there. I took me and two of my boys, and we went over there to learn about the urethane cement and the metallic floors, because it's something that we had never. I've watched a lot of videos on it, but we'd never actually hands-on done it, and so it was cool being able to go over there and do it. And so we just finished a sample that's kind of like a beach scene. That's like one of my favorite things to make with the epoxy art, and so I want to be able to mimic that on floors. And so we just finished a spot.
Actually using sand?
Yep. So
Really?
we'll use quartz, which is one of the coatings that we can do, and then the epoxy will kind of flow up to it. And with the metallic floors, epoxy is the only thing you can do it with. You can't do it with a polyurea product. So finding these different options and the best options that we can offer for customers, and they have so many different color combos that you can do. You can do just one, and it's a metallic mica powder, and it has sparkles to it, and it'll just kind of do its own design, or you can put multiple colors and blend them together, and there's so many different ways to blend them together to get different looks. So the beach scene is really kind of like what I've been focusing on trying to get down.
Yeah.
So, and I'm pretty happy with the way that it came out. So
So putting this stuff on your floor in your house, does it do any type of? Does it have any value for temperature? Like, is it because concrete gets cold. You go into a garage or whatever. Does it help to kind of keep the temperature or keep the cold from coming through the concrete?
I would think it would a little bit. I don't know how much. Like if we're doing the full moisture vapor barrier system, because that's like a buildup. So it's two coats of the primer. The first one is a thin coat, and then the second one is a really thick coat, and that's what helps create the moisture vapor barrier. So then the moisture coming up through the concrete hits it, and then it disperses back down into the ground, which all houses nowadays have moisture vapor barriers, or are supposed to have moisture vapor barriers put in before the concrete is poured. But a lot of times on the older houses, the moisture vapor barrier has gone away. I mean, it used to just be sand, and then it was sand and plastic rots, I mean, eventually it's gonna give out. So I know in the sun, our coatings are a little bit cooler than the concrete, depending on what color you go with. We had a customer that had asked us, well, what if I pick this dark color? Is it going to be hotter? And I was like, that's a great question. So we have these bigger sample boards, and so we took some of them.
Sense,
and,
yeah.
we took them and sat them out in the sun, and I've got a digital thermometer, and we went through and checked them after they'd been sitting in the sun for about an hour, and there was a difference. The darker colors, were obviously hotter, but the cooler color or the lighter colors were cooler than the regular concrete. So kind of cool.
What are you finding that most of your clients, when you get the first time call, that they're in need of?
Mostly garages.
Mostly garages.
Mostly
So-
garages. We've got quite a few back porches that we've done, and front porches. We just did one in a Atascadero that was like their front walkway, so up to their door, and then we did the side yard on the side of their house. It's like where they have like their sitting area and their parties and stuff. So we did that, and then their back porch area. We have to go back and finish the back porch area. There was too much moisture in the air, and the gutters were constantly dripping. And so I just talked to them and said, if you guys are okay with it, we'd prefer to come back and do this at a later time, because moisture and dust are our two worst enemies when we're doing the floors. So, and they were like, yeah, well, that's fine. We'll just have you come back. So, and they had their heater. They have like one of those heater dual pack units, and it was sitting on the concrete right next to their back garage door. And every night when it would run, it would kick out the water. And I was like, we tried to put stuff around it to stop the water. And I just told him, I said, man, that's running water. Like if we put this down, it's going to fail. So I don't like it when it fails. I'd rather just be good to go. We've done quite a few driveways now. We just finished a driveway in Morro Bay that was quartz.
Really? On a driveway? I mean, so this isn't this material that you would use for like your decks or your.
Right.
This is pretty slippery.
Yeah, that's just straight. That's actually resin.
Okay.
So it's actually made for resin projects like the charcuterie boards and
Okay.
the plaques and stuff.
But you can get stuff like this. You can make this. People could put like, family or names, or
Yeah.
businesses can reach out to you to do like some branding stuff, to where you can make some charcuterie. Or is this a charcuterie board, or is this a paddle? This could be for parents.
I mean, I'm not telling you what to
Grandma's
do with
paddle.
it, but it does remind me. My aunt used to have a paddle almost exactly like that had holes in it when we were a kid. It was made out of wood though.
Right, for that air pass.
Well,
we don't
man,
want
when
anything slowing
when
down.
she swung that, dude, that thing whistled, and all of us kids feared her so much.
Right?
But yeah, that's what it reminded me of when I made it the first time. I kind of laughed, and I sent her a picture, and I was like, hey, remember the paddle you used to have hanging in the kitchen? Check it out. I make them now.
Nice.
Yeah.
With your influence.
Yeah. Thank you.
So tell me about the painting.
So the painting crew, we have actually decided to let go. So
okay.
yeah, the painting crew, it was just becoming too difficult to run both crews. And my lead guy, who's been with me since I started, my nephew Chris, decided to move back to Tulare County. He wanted to be with his nieces and nephews and, be a part of their life. And so he decided to move back, and tried to kind of keep it going. Like, we'll still do small jobs. Like, we get a lot of people that ask, especially in new houses, hey, can you paint my garage? I'm very blessed right now. I have 3 of my boys that are working for me. So my 2 youngest sons and then my oldest son. And all of them have painted with me. All of them have learned. Or my youngest stepson He's learning how to do the concrete now, so he's been on my painting crew. So he's learning it now, and so we'll still do small jobs for customers. But as far as like full on
Like a full
houses,
crew,
full crew, like I'm just done with it for right now. I really enjoy the concrete coatings and what we can do with it, and focusing on that. And then now that we just started doing epoxy countertops, which is super
Oh,
cool.
tell me about that. So is that like, I mean, I'm going to use Tascadero as a reference because Tascadero has a lot of those old, like Brady Bunch, houses with the ugly yellow tile countertops that with the grout that's like
So
just as
ugly.
ugly or black.
Yeah. So we have tile countertops in the house that we rent, and all of the grout is just disgusting. Like it doesn't matter how much you clean it, and I can't stand tile countertops. So one of the benefits, we use stovetop countertops for our countertop pours. It's all food safe. It's zero VOCs, so you don't have to worry about the smell when you're in the house. But we can virtually come into your house and we can pour over any countertop that you have. So, I mean, all the prep work is different depending on what kind of countertop you have. We did a really beautiful one in Paso Robles for a customer. They had old concrete countertops, and they'd been sealed and stained, multiple times. I think it was close to 25 years old. And he had actually been watching the videos on stone top countertops, and I don't know what it's called, but we're signed up with them to do this now. And so we can come in and we can prep it. We actually fabricated backsplashes for them out of MDF, and then we were able to pour, and it was called natural earth tones. So it was 5 different colors. It was brown, copper, bronze, diamond dust, and white metallic. And it's like, it's really cool when you start doing them, because it's you have to set the expectation again with the customer. Like, these are the colors that you want, but I have no control over really how it's going to look. Like, I can kind of, now that I've done quite a few samples and messed with it quite a bit, I kind of have an idea of how it's going to come out. But when you pour it, you pour it to a certain thickness, and then you let it sit and you tape your edges, and then when you pull the tape off, the design rolls over the edges, so that way it looks like it's all fabricated as one piece. And it's a process, but it's so cool when you stand back when it's done and you look at it.
So are you going over the tile, or are you taking up popping up the tile and putting?
No, with what we do, so with tiles probably the most involved one. You have to go in and you have to grind the tile, just to scratch it up. Then you have to put down concrete adhesive, and then you use a self-leveling concrete, because all of tile has that little bump at the front,
Right.
and then we have to let it dry for a day, and then we come in and we put our epoxy undercoat, and then we can pour over it just like it was brand new countertops. But it saves you all the mess of demoing. It saves you all the money of having to tear off the tile. If you've ever demoed tile, you know that everything falls into your cabinets, so you don't have to clean out all your cabinets for what we do. The concrete ones, those were fairly simple for the prep. I mean, it still took us a lot of prep because we had to, scratch them all up and everything. But those ones, I think the backsplashes took me longer to do than the actual countertop pour. So, and my customers message me like every 2 weeks telling me how stoked they are with the countertops. Like, they just messaged me yesterday, and he was like, I just want to tell you again, like, we are so happy with our countertops. Every time we sit down in the kitchen or do anything in the kitchen, we're just blown away. Because they told me what they wanted, they showed me the colors, and then we went in and made it happen. So,
Interesting.
yeah. So,
I mean, we got growth but people are buying homes and kind of increasing their value.
right.
Right. And so they might buy, like you said, a fixer upper, a house that looks like it's straight out of the 70s, and in order to update that stuff, and you've seen a lot of houses with brand new cabinets, they look really good. And then
the
you have that
countertops.
countertop.
Yep.
You have that ugly tile countertop that you just go, all this, and then you left that, probably for money,
Right.
probably for demolition.
Because granite and quartz is expensive. So that's what really gave me the idea. We were doing a painting job for a customer in Atascadero, and he had this really nice granite that they were putting in their bathrooms. They were upgrading their bathrooms. Well, they were doing the shower walls and everything, and he starts telling me about like how much money he was paying for this granite, and it looked amazing. But I'd already been kind of watching the videos, and that's what we're going to move to next after we do a few more countertops. We can actually do shower walls too. So
How do you keep the? How do you put this on vertically?
so you demo the walls down to the studs, just like if you were going to go in and put granite or quartz. We
And you lay them flat and then put them up.
fabricate them on foam walls, so that way you don't have all the weight of the granite. And so I go in and we measure out everything and we pre-cut it, drill the holes for the faucets and everything, and then we take it back to the shop and we fabricate it, and then we go and we glue it in, just like they would with granite, except you don't have all the weight and all the cost. So he paid almost $30,000, I think, for his two bathrooms.
Wow.
And that's just, I was like, man, we could do that for like a third of the cost, like. And that's so cool. Like nobody around here does it. I've never seen anybody else that pours countertops around here, other than just like clear. Like, I know there's a couple people that'll go in and they'll pour like the clear over like bar tops and stuff like that, but which we can do too. But we can also do any kind of wicked design you want. We can put logos in it. We can do anything.
You're still yearning for a man cave,
I am. I'm looking
right?
for that man cave. Yep. Well, I think Tackett Winery is going to be kind of like that, because you're doing a logo for us to put down for him, and I know that's really special for him because he was in the military, and I think that's where it came from.
Right, the EOD.
I spent a lot of time in there looking at his plaques and all of his different stuff where he's honoring military and veterans, and he's got a lot of special programs in there that you can donate to, and that's something that's really near and dear to our heart too, is our our veterans. And so, yeah, I think that one's gonna be super fun to do. So
That's gonna be awesome because you got a showroom floor, you got a tasting room, and you're gonna have the big EOD decal there, and it's gonna have the epoxy
yep,
material over the top of it, right?
yep, yep. So that'll be our first technical man cave, I guess you could say. But yeah, I am looking for somebody that wants to do like a sports themed one, like, or Harley, or something, because we can put down logos over any one of our products. So whether you do chip system, whether you do metallic floor, whether you do solid color, and we have so many different options now, so many different options. So depending on which way you want to go and how you want to set it up, we can kind of cater to it. We're doing a garage and a courtyard right now for some customers, and it's going to be super cool. She's surprising her husband, so he has no idea about this. So she took him on vacation. She was like, "We're going to be going on vacation. I need it done at this time." Like, now I just need to figure out how to shut off all the alerts on his phone for the cameras and everything. And so we've been like checking in every day, and we got his garage finished a couple days ago. They come home tonight. The boys are over there right now finishing the courtyard, and I told her, I said, "So do you want a preview of the garage, or do you want to be surprised when," and she goes, "I want a preview." And I sent her pictures. And what did
But
she
this
say?
is a surprise,
It's a surprise for him. He has no idea.
right?
So she was like, "I never thought that I would be this excited about concrete. Like, it looks so good." And so she was like, he is going to flip he's just going to flip out when we get home, So they're coming home tonight, and I'm like, I'm going to tell her, "Hey, make sure you turn the cameras back on when you come home, because I want you to send me the video of his reaction when he
Right, turn it
pulls
on
up."
right before you get there,
Yeah,
so then that way you can have
before.
that makeover, that home makeover,
Yeah.
Experience. And
Move the
impression.
bus.
Right? Yeah, move the bus. That's kind of cool.
Yeah,
So Matt, I see like on your social medias, you guys do a lot of giveaways.
we do. Well, it's been a while since we have, and,
Right.
and I've been slacking. The last home that we did, I had posted it and I totally spaced it. I had forgot about it. And so now I'm like, I have all these giveaways that I wanted to do before Christmas. And so now we're just going to kind of take it to the end of the new year. And it's just kind of our way of saying thank you to our customers in North County and everything for here. And it's a way to support the places that we've found since we've been here that we really like and want to support too. So.
Well, I want to touch on that real quick because you are an out-of-towner that came in and you really rooted in.
Yeah.
Right? Like you said, you got a little over 2 years now, and how are you received as a like I always say the North County is like no other place like in California.
Right.
So
It's got that very much small town feel, which is where we're from. Where I'm from, it's a small town called Strathmore. I was born and raised there. So I didn't have to do very much advertising over there because I know everybody. I grew up there. I've worked in construction pretty much my whole life, so I knew all the general contractors are people that I went to school with that got licensed, and so we didn't have to do a lot when we moved over here. You were actually one of the first people that I met, and I immediately knew that we were going to have to like kind of go balls to the wall with advertising to get our name out there because everybody was going to be like, "Who's this guy and where'd he come from?" And the first year was a little bit of a struggle. It was hard, but as we did jobs and as people saw our integrity and the work that we did, I believe that that the word is spreading, and that's my favorite kind of advertising. I want you to be so happy that you're telling all of your friends, that you're sharing all of our social media, that you're just like, these guys really do what they say they're gonna do. Like, that's important to me. Satisfaction guaranteed. That's what we really try and stick to. My boys told me, well, how many times are we gonna go back and do this job? Like, just because the customer's picky, and I go, until they're happy. Like, you know. We did
that's important.
We did a driveway where we will not do sloped driveways anymore because we've learned it. You have to put so much texture in it that it's just difficult, and it can be dangerous. And we had a customer that we did their driveway, and when it rained really bad a couple, what was it, like a month and a half ago, she was backing out of her driveway and her tires locked up and kind of slid out of the driveway. So we went back and we recoated it and we put a lot more sand, and they had actually requested that we change the color at the same time. They wanted to go like with a darker color, and we'd already done their garage. We did their garage about 6-7 months ago, and they were super stoked with it. They've remodeled the house. It is freaking beautiful, everything that they've done with it. And their driveway was like the last eyesore in the front. And so they, said, hey, can you do something with this? And we said, yeah. And we didn't put enough silica sand in it, and we didn't give it enough texture, and it was dangerous. So we went back over and we recoated it. It rained again, had the same kind of issues, so we went back over again, sanded it all down, and I was like, I don't want anybody slipping and falling. I don't want anybody getting hurt. Like we will do what we have to do. And so we went back over and we redid it. And, this time I told them, I said, it may not be the prettiest. I said, because we're going to put a lot of sand. But they had a really sloped driveway. Mm-hmm. And I had one of my buddies that's a dealer too. When he saw the first pictures, he goes, bro, that's going to be a scary one. And I should have listened. So now, like, we'll do standard driveways. Like, we can coat those all day long, and you can use the regular chip system with the added silica sand, and it gives it plenty of texture. But on this one, I don't know if we just didn't get a good mix in it the second time or what it was.
But the important thing is you were, a business that was, stands behind your product and your services, that you went back and on your dime went back, and because they already paid you,
yeah,
you went back and redid it, not once but twice.
Yeah, the second time they paid us for the color change, just for the material to change the color, because I told them we'll come back and we'll recoat it to make it slip resistant because I have that stuff. But if you want to change the color, I have to order this stuff. So you guys pay for this, and we'll make it whatever color you want. So I want to work with my customers. I want them happy, and I want them safe. So
tell me about so you came into town your first year. You're basically kind of just a guerrilla marketing everything. You were hitting everything, and but now you have some pretty big projects like the Central Coast Zoo.
Yeah.
So tell me about that.
So Central Coast Zoo, we got really blessed with. What was it? Was it the Brew at the zoo? I think it was the Brew at the zoo when I got referred to them by another local painter, Seth Peak. Peaks Painting, which they're amazing, and I refer a lot of work to them. Like when I go out and I look at bigger projects or somebody needs it on a timeline, like I tell them, hey, give Seth a call. They have way more crews than us. Like, we're small time, and he had referred me to doing some concrete work over there, and the connections that we've made over there. We ended up sponsoring the spider monkey enclosure. We painted the whole inside where they live, and then we painted the whole outside of it. And then we redid the flamingo ponds, which was something completely foreign and new to us. You know, I had to do a lot of research on it because I was scared to death that all the flamingos were going to die. And I was like, that is not that is not the advertising that we
Yeah,
want, you know?
yeah,
Hey,
yeah. Word of mouth
MGP,
is great, except
yeah,
for that.
MGP comes in and kills all the flamingos. The ponds look great,
Yeah.
but they're all dead.
Yeah.
So, you know, I found a manufacturer that specifically was for koi ponds, you know, and fish and stuff like that. And I worked with the owner over there and got to know the owner over there. We just recently had, they signed 2 more contracts, so they're getting ready to update the lemur enclosure. And so we'll be doing that, and we'll be doing a coating on the inside of the lemur enclosure, so that way they can see how it holds up for the animals. And yeah,
Because that's all the lemur. That's all. Is it not all dirt in there?
it is, except for the cage. Well, yeah, but where they live, where they have them caged in the back,
Okay.
that's where we go
So this is
in.
more behind the scenes stuff.
Some of it is. I mean, we're doing the whole enclosure, so it's like, you know, all the 2x that go up, and then they put in some new posts. Like, they're doing a lot of work on it, revamping it. And I love watching everything that the zoo does, like trying to make it better for the animals, trying to make it nicer for the people coming in. Like, they really are making leaps and bounds. Dr. Cynthia is amazing, you know, with what she's doing over there at the zoo. I never get tired of going. Never.
Well, you know, the or the Central. It's hard to get.
I know.
That's that.
Central Coast Zoo.
The Central Coast Zoo. You know, it's a gym within our our community.
It is.
You know, I mean, how long did it take you to learn that there was a zoo in Atascadero when you moved over here?
It didn't take us long because we actually lived right there by the lake park. And so I used to, when I first moved over here, my wife was still back in Tulare County. So I had a lot of time to myself. So I would walk around the park all the time. And we lived right there. So I always saw the sign for it. And I was like, freaking, there's a zoo here in Atascadero? What the heck? And so, you know, went and checked it out one day when my wife and some of the grandkids were here. And, you know, now we've got the membership to go to the zoo so we can go anytime we want. You know, we sponsor a lot of events at the zoo and the city and everything right there around the park. And yeah, it's just, I love what they're doing for it. And I love how much they care for the animals, like what they want to do for them to make them more comfortable, make it more natural, you know? And it's so cool. I mean, you guys have been over there and done the morning brew behind the scenes. Like,
yeah.
in the mornings, it's different. Like, before all the people start coming in and they're, you know, just waking up and getting their food, like, everybody is so vocal and all the animals are just all over the place. And it's like a jungle, you know, when you're over there working in the mornings.
Well, very awesome.
Yeah.
So Matt, I just want to grab one of these again real quick because you know, these little things that you can make with the epoxy. These are all custom made.
Yep.
You could put people's pictures in there.
Whatever you want.
You could put, you know, businesses could utilize these things as, you know, branding for themselves. You can make them coasters. That's what this is. This is a wine bottle coaster,
Yeah.
right?
Or a big glass, but yeah.
Or a big glass.
If it's,
Man, 40.
fits bottles of wine, perfect.
Or 40. Oh,
yeah.
look at that one. Let's go back to that. Now, that was a car table?
That's a Hot Wheels
Matchbox
table.
car table.
No, it's a Hot Wheels.
Hot Wheel.
Yeah,
Okay.
Matchbox and Hot Wheels are
Completely different.
Completely different.
Okay.
But my sister had sent me a video a couple months ago of somebody doing one of these, and so I was like, oh, well, I want to do one like with a racetrack with like cars wrecking and all this stuff. Like, in my head, I'm thinking, oh, I'm gonna make this so cool. And then I found on Amazon a box of Hot Wheels. And so I ordered it. It was 50 Hot Wheels, something like that. And it sat in my shop. Like, we just got super busy, so I didn't have a time to do anything with it. And then I was just like, you know what? I need to get back to me. Like, the epoxy art really relaxes me. Like, I really enjoy it. I'll get stuck there for hours. Like, when I do my beach scene plaques, those take me days and hours because you're making the waves, you're putting, and it's kind of cool because I'll go to a local beach and I'll pick up sand and I'll pick up shells and rocks and everything, and then I go back, and then that's like, I named one Pismo Beach because it's all from Pismo, and then I have Moonstone Beach. We were staying over there in Cambria, went and got a bunch of stuff, and then just making it all is super relaxing to me. So I decided to try and make that Hot Wheels table, and my gosh, dude, it took me, I think it was like 9 different pours, maybe it was 10. when I was finally all done, and my my silicone mold kind of folded in on one side because I had had it sitting for so long, folded over, and so two of the sides kind of folded in, and so it's not perfectly round. And I thought, well, I could probably just router it and make it round. And then I was like, no, I think I'm just going to I'm going to use it as an example. And then if somebody wants one, then they can see what we can do. But I think it's going to be a Christmas gift for my grandkids. So, because they love Hot Wheels and monster trucks and all that stuff. And my son Daniel came over and he goes, dude, that'd look really good in like our sunroom, like right in the middle of it for the kids to play on. And I was like, So I put the legs on it yesterday, and so, but it is heavy.
Awesome.
Like it is. I mean, it is. Yeah, two and a half
Heavy.
inches thick. Yeah, it's
You
it's
don't
a
want that, you don't want that to follow down on you.
no, and it is. Yeah, it is. It's pretty thick. Next time I won't use trucks or Jeeps. It'll only be cars, because it took so much to cover those. So.
But you could get a customer could call you up and say, "Hey, I've got all these." Like I'm thinking, like memorabilia. Like memory, plaques, or
Yeah, we can
like
do-
the table. You've
we can
got
do big
grandpa's,
tables, yep.
war rings or belts or buckles or
And then it protects it.
yeah.
Like once it's encased, it is protected. Like even if the outside layer gets scratched, you can go through and sand it and put another layer of epoxy on it or a top coat, and it just, you don't even see the scratches anymore. So it's just something, a way to protect it, so.
And preserve it for lifetime, generations to come.
Yeah, and I want to learn to make the big river tables. Like that was what started me on this mission. Was I was watching those people. I saw a guy do a Star Wars table, and that was like the one that hooked me. It was a big round, like a 4-foot table, and he had these big wood slabs in it that had been routed out. And in the middle of it, he did this whole scene with TIE fighters and walkers and all this stuff. And when he was done, I think somebody bought it for like $80,000, which was cool, but the table itself was so badass. Like he put like little laser shots going through it, like they were really fighting, and it was so cool.
Well, you got the kids with the high schools with the project auctions coming up, and
I
those
know.
kids make some pretty crazy epoxy tables.
I do. I know. I talked to some kids last year about it, so some stuff that didn't sell. I was like,
Awesome. Well, Matt, once again, how does people find you?
They can find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat.
Snack chat.
I think it's time for breakfast.
Right?
Snapchat, 805-952-5301, or our website, mattgiffordpainting.com, which hopefully soon will be changing to just MGP Coatings. So,
Or they can click onto our
Yeah.
Website, and they
Yeah.
can click on your link and go to all
Straight
your
to our
socials
website,
or
yep.
your contacts information and stuff like that.
Yep, and we do the Val packs, so be watching in the mail for those. We're starting to do a little bit of digital advertising, so I'm kind of interested to see how many people are going to be like, hey, I saw your ad when I was playing a game.
Right.
So I'm kind of interested to see how that works out. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
All right, Matt. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah.
We appreciate you guys being a sponsor of What's Up North County, and just all the stuff that you guys do in the community, and how you guys are involved and willing to help out at any time, and
Yeah.
make things happen.
Yeah, I also make these really cool little things too. So this one's a skull, hand holding a skull, and those are they just blow me away how much detail are in them when I finish with them. So
It would be like a good like a shifter knob.
yeah, well that's what my son said. He was like, hey, can I have this for my shifter? And I go, I mean, you could probably try and grind it out and thread it, and it might work. But yeah, I've got a couple different ones of those. I have one that's see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil, and it's a little bit taller. I bought them for Halloween, and made some kind of Halloween ones. I also made some, I have glow in the dark mica powders too. And
That's
so
what these are.
Those are just black light. So they don't actually glow, but I actually have some glow in the dark powders. And so for Halloween, I made a couple plaques that, said beware, and it looked like blood dripping down. And then
nice.
I went to the Dollar Tree and bought, one of those kits that had like the haunted house and like a witch flying and all this different stuff. And I kind of put trails with the glow in the dark stuff. And then I took it home for Halloween and hung it up and put some black lights up. And I was like, oh yeah, those are kind of cool. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Well, cool, man. Well, we appreciate you. And like I said, guys, you guys can reach out to Matt Gifford, MGP Coatings, 805-952-5301, mattgiffordpainting.com. Check him out on all his socials right there. And, give him a call. See if the project that you have in your mind, he can make happen.
Yeah.
So thanks for coming in, Matt. Again, we appreciate you guys. And and look forward to seeing what else you guys are doing for 2026.
Yeah, next year's going to be a good year. I can
Yes,
feel
sir.
it.
All right, man.
Cool. I
Well,
appreciate you guys.
Yes, sir. Well, there you have it, guys. Thanks for tuning in to What's Up North County. And we can't do this without you and our sponsors. We'd like to thank Escalar Wine, Wine Travelers Hideaway, Visit Atascadero, 805 Custom, Premier Ag, Trailer Barn, Story Termite Pest Control, Borho and Auto Center, Kennedy Club Fitness, Airflow Filter Services, Templeton Heating and Air, and of course, MGP Coatings. Thanks again, guys. We'll see you next time. When it comes to comfort, trust the team that's been keeping the North County homes cozy since 1995. At Templeton Heating and Air Conditioning, they're your hometown pros right here in Templeton. From tune-ups to repairs, remodels to new construction, even duct replacements and attic ventilation, they got you covered. Call your neighbors at 805-434-3741. Templeton Heating and Air Conditioning. Local, trusted, dependable.
Hi, I'm Glenn McWilliams.
And I'm Annie. As sixth-generation farmers, we understand what it takes to keep a ranch, a farm, and a community growing strong.
And that's why we started Premier Ag to bring quality feed, trusted Western wear, and real service to the Central Coast.
From hay delivery across the county to hands-on support for local youth and ag programs, we're proud to give back to the community that raised us.
And when we say from seed to stable, we mean it. We've walked the fields, we've fed the animals, and now we're here to serve families just like yours.
Come visit us at 1041 Paso Robles Street in Paso Robles and experience the difference of a store built by farmers for farmers.
From seed to store, where quality meets country.
Hi, this is Dave Story, small game hunter with Story Termite and Pest. We're a full-service termite and pest control company. From rodents to termites, we can take care of all your pest control needs. Call today, we can tailor a pest control program that will meet your needs and budget. Contact us at 805-460-0650 or at storytermite.com. Remember, we don't have customers, we have friends.
Looking for a top quality concrete coating in SLO County? Hi, I'm Matt Gifford with MGP Coatings, your trusted local expert in durable, long-lasting concrete coatings backed by Pentec's limited lifetime warranty. Whether it's residential or commercial, we deliver expert craftsmanship, premium products, and unbeatable customer service. When we say we make concrete great again, we mean it. As a locally owned, community-driven company, we take pride in transforming garages, patios, pool decks, wineries, and even interior spaces into stunning, functional areas. Are you ready to upgrade your space? Give us a call at 805-952-5301. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram, or visit mattgiffordpainting.com. Join the MGP Coating family today.
What's up, North County? This is Teresa Branch with Airflow Filter Service. We are a family-owned business right here in the North County. We have air filters, oils and lubricants, and hydraulic hoses. We provide services that include air filter cleaning, DPF cleaning, and waste oil collection. Come check us out at 1140 Ramada Drive, and we can help you with all your automotive and industrial vehicle needs.
Atascadero isn't your standard getaway. We're unique, just like you. We're growing, transforming, and figuring it out as we go. We're a town filled with innovators, artists, makers, and game changers. We're a little bit country, a little bit funky, and always authentic. We're here for your good times, your slow times, and your changing times. We're all in Atascadero. Come see for yourself. Learn more at visitatascadero.com.